let's begin by reviewing absolute value, just the definition, and see how we can then use it to simplify expressions if we know certain pieces of information about the values of x. So let's see here. Thinking back to maybe something you've seen in the past, absolute value is defined to be the value of x when you're given something that is non-negative, and it's the opposite in sign. Take it times -1 if the value is less than 0. So essentially, absolute value is a way of measuring how far a point is from the origin. That's a geometric way of looking at it. An algebraic way here is really thinking about how it takes negatives away from a number so that you're only getting a non-negative response. So what I'd like us to be able to do is to eventually be able to simplify absolute value expressions when we look at something to do with limits later on. So this is a great place for us to start, kind of build up some ability to do that. So let's suppose I was to tell you that you have only values of x that are greater than 4. Could you use that information to simplify the absolute value of 2x minus 8? Maybe not something you've done in the past. Absolute value, most times, you're given a specific number, you plug in, take the sign away, or not, depending on what you're given. I've still got the variable in here. How can we work with this? Well, you've been given a little bit of information. Using that, we can start to do some reasoning. So if x is greater than 4, what kind of conclusion can we make? You want absolute value to involve some sort of comparison to 0. Because we know with numbers that are bigger than 0, absolute value just returns what you've got. Values that are less than 0, absolute value changes the sign. So if x is greater than 4, then I can also say that x minus 4 is greater than 0. See how I've essentially went from having an inequality without a comparison to 0 to one that does. That's sort of my crux move to get myself moving in the direction for a simplification. So what we got here is almost exactly what's inside absolute value. If I was to double both sides of the inequality, it doesn't flip the inequality, and it gives me a statement that I can make concerning 2x minus 8. If a value is greater than 0, it is most certainly positive. So the conclusion that we can make, that we were really after from the beginning of this, is that the absolute value of 2x minus 8 is in fact 2x minus 8. It doesn't seem like a big statement at this moment, but oftentimes something like this can allow us to make a problem much easier to complete. Absolute value is hard to manipulate. You're not always certain whether it's the positive version or negative version. If you're given just a tad bit more information, you can make those conclusions, of course, with some valid reasoning. Okay, let's try another one. In this case, let's say, I'll make sure it's in a good place for you to see. If x is less than 8, I would like to simplify the absolute value of 4x minus 32. So let's start our reasoning. With x being less than 8. If x is less than 8, I want to create an inequality with 0 on one side. And in this case, I'm going to subtract 8 from both sides. So if x is less than 8, then x minus 8 is less than 0. And you know what? That's almost what's inside the absolute value. 4x minus 8. Sorry, 4x minus 32. is also going to be less than 0. Why is that important? We have a comparison to 0. In particular, 4x minus 32 is less than 0. That tells me I've got a negative expression inside of the absolute value. So what conclusion can I make? The absolute value of 4x minus 32 is in fact the negative of the quantity 4x minus 32 for these particular values of x. So what we're doing is we're using a little extra information, in particular a range of values for 8, to make a simplification of an absolute value expression. I want to work 3 problems with you just so you've got a lot of resources. So let me erase a little bit up here at the top, and then we can go. One thing I would just like to mention while I'm doing this work here is that a lot of times with a class like this, it's our first class in math where we start to really ask students to explain the reasoning. A lot of times what I get with problems like this are students will just go, well, here's my answer, negative of 4x minus 32. I'm going to make my final conclusion without any sort of justification. I worry about that. I know that students have a 50-50 chance of getting it right, but I don't know exactly what they were thinking along the way. And going to university, part of that experience is to build up your argument skills, your communication skills, and being able to build up a nice logical argument that's been thought through well without any glaring omissions or errors. That's a skill worth building. Okay. So, last example. If x was less than 2, I'd like to simplify the absolute value of 12 minus 6x. Let's see if we can't work this one out. If you'd like to pause this a moment and work it out on your own and then come back and see if I follow through and do the same things you were doing, I really think that's a good strategy to employ. So I'm going to start my argument, my reasoning, in the same place I have before. If x is less than 2, I want to get a comparison to 0 in some way. Now instead of moving 2 to the left side, I'm actually going to move x to the right side. Why would I want to do that? I want to mimic the arrangement of constants and linear terms in my inequality. 12 minus 6x has the constant before the linear term. 2 minus x mimics that. It doesn't necessarily have to be done that way, but I feel that part of my job is to teach you the most efficient way. That's what we like, right? To make sure our efforts get to the goal as quickly as possible. Now, 2 minus x isn't quite what we want, but it's really close. If I multiply everything through by 6, I now have that 0 is less than 12 minus 6x. So what does that mean to me? Well, 12 minus 6x is going to be a positive value since it's greater than 0. Thus, and let's make our conclusion, the absolute value of 12 minus 6x, in this case, when x is less than 2, is in fact 12 minus 6x. The absolute value really doesn't change anything because it doesn't have anything to change. 3 examples here to kind of get you started with simplifying absolute value expressions. If you're curious where this skill might show up later, When we start to get to a section where we're looking at evaluating limits algebraically, we will need to be able to remove absolute value based on what the possible values of x might be. Without this skill, you're pretty much got a 50-50 shot of guessing correctly what's going to happen. Let's get rid of the guesswork. Here's the way to reason through it.